Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Breath of Fire 3 with Mickey D. We are gonna take on the Desert of Death. The dreaded Desert of Death. This part is probably my least favorite part in the game. Now, Horus says it best. Now comes the hard part. The Desert of Death. Because it doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how smart you are. Or how cunning, or anything like that. You can't talk your way out of the Desert of Death. It's just not possible, man. It is tough. We just crossed the ocean. Now I have to cross the desert. Ray makes a good point. God does not want to be spoken to. Alright, so we can ask Horus about everything. First things first, grab this water. You want to grab this water, man. You can't survive the desert without water. So, get water. And I'll kind of go about how to use this stuff later on. It's really, for anybody watching, you most likely played through the game, so you already know how to do it. Walking in the desert, I already know how to do that. Water, you drink it, you need it in the desert. Camping in the desert, you wanna travel during nighttime because it's too hot to travel in the desert. It's during the sun, so you want to camp when the sun is up. The Rakta is your last lifeline. Basically, you can get out of the desert of death. Anytime that you're like lost, just use the Rakta. It'll take you back home. Let's see what he has to say about the goddess of Myria here, or Myria. I guess that's what we've been doing in all the other video games, Breath of Fire. And, looks like Horus is a pacifist. Well, anyways, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to save right now, just in case if I get lost. And, I'm actually going to be taking... Did I just choose rest? Okay, guess that works. I'm gonna be taking, an unconventional route to get through the Desert of Death. I'm actually going to be, for those that have played the game, there's a lot of items that you can get in the Desert of Death here. And they're very, very strong items. I wouldn't say strong, they're really good items. What I'm going to be doing is that following this one Breath of Fire 3 player, his name is David 5K. He's awesome player. He speedruns the game. He knows so much about the game. But anyways, I'm using his guide to travel to the Oasis and pick up 2 of those 4 items. So here we're in the Desert of Death. This is the North Star. That right there is the fake North Star. And you can kind of tell by the way that the sand is kind of grained out. And then to the west here is the West Star. I believe it's called like I don't think it's called the Evening Star, is it? I don't know. And what makes the Desert of Death so difficult? Well, first of all, I should just start by saying I want to walk in my directions that David 5K gave. I want to walk north a couple nights. So 2 nights north, and we're running, or we're walking. Traveling the desert here. I was going to say something just now. I ran thoughts into each other, and they collided, and one just completely ran off, and I have no idea where it is anymore. Anyways, I'm trying to remember now. Well, nonetheless, we're going to run into a few battles each night. And I'd say that each night is, kind of lasts about 2 or 3 battles. This is what I mean by a battle. Just a battlefield, random generated battlefield. About 2 or 3 of these a night. And we got some new enemies, of course, in the desert. Got the Magmaite here. See how I can take this guy out as fast as possible. I'll probably use Ascension. And I'll probably use Fusion. I don't know what the hell Nina's doing in my party. Alright, just use that. haven't used the fusion gene yet. What that does is, oh, wow, that's right, I haven't taken the skills off. The fusion gene makes a hybrid of the team members. Kind of, each hybrid dragon is different, and I'll go into it more in the dragon transformation video. Nice one, Nina. Anyways, obviously Ryu is hybrided up right now with Ray. The reason why I did that is so that we can just shadow walk him. So that's about it. Take him out. Magmaite, you can learn a few enemy skills from him. He's got like Lava Burst, Air Raid, Flying Kick, stuff like that. Other than that, really high defense. Take him out with ice spells if you can, or attacks that go through defense, like Shadow Walk, like what I used there. So anyways, that was oh, I should mention that when you get out of a battlefield, a lot of the time it'll disorient your direction, and you want to make sure that you're going in the right direction the entire time. If not, you know, that's how you can get lost so easily. And now I'm remembering where that thought that I lost came back to me. The reason why the Desert of Death is so difficult is because the directions that the game gives you, and we'll look at that in a bit, it is, first of all, it's extremely convoluted, and secondly, there are rumors on the internet. Most people say that it's actually not correct. You saw there that I was getting damage from heat because I wasn't drinking water. Some new enemies here, some scorpions, pretty basic stuff. I was getting damaged, and you can get damaged up to 4 times before anything serious really happens. As you can see, I mean, it's like, look at Nina's HP. She only took like, what, 4 damage or something? But nonetheless, you don't want to get damaged 5 times. What that'll do is that's gonna dock down your max HP by 10%. Kind of like if you were to, kind of like what Nina has there with her 90 HP there. But anyways, I walk 4 steps, take a drink of water, and that's kind of the route that I'm doing to make it through this long journey. I think that was 4 times right there, so I'm gonna manual sort, so that the water jug is all the way at the top. There we go. And I want to use it. There we go. So now we're all watered up. That's good stuff. And but anyways, yeah, take water after about like 4 hits. The 5th hit, you don't want to have that happen. You can really diminish your HP by that. I think I did that a lot as a kid. I didn't realize, or I ran out of water. I got lost here so many times as a kid. I probably played, probably took about like 3 hours to get outside the Desert of Death. I probably had like 3 or 4 different attempts at getting outside the Desert of Death because the directions are just so confusing, man. And as you'll see here, or as you saw, the sun is rising and night is just about to end. Got a new enemy, the cacti. Nothing really too notable. Got the, actually, maybe Nina can be a little bit of use with Blizzard? Who knows? Cacti's got a high reprisal rate. I don't think, they have anything too notable about them other than that. Oh, they drop vodka shots, which is kind of nice. But other than that, you know, standard stuff. Scorpion, you can learn double blow. But yeah, man, I got lost so often here. It's so ridiculous. And I got a story here, which I'll tell you guys a little bit later, about the Desert of Death. And actually involves my brother, about how we were in a quarrel. God, lag. We were in a little fight, my brother and I. Not a little fight, we were in a pretty big fight. I don't even know what about. Well, long story short, well, no, I won't even get to that. I'm just bobbling thoughts around here. But I will get to it in a little bit. Oh man, it makes me laugh every time I think about it. When I first before telling that story, we want to break camp here, rest up, make sure that it's night when we travel. And these are the directions, by the way, that Horace gives us. Tells us how to get to the oasis. Just read this. As a 9-year-old boy, I had no idea what the fuck to do. Okay, so follow the North Star to the north. Okay, that's easy. Then when you can see the evening star directly to the west, head west. So that's pretty easy also. And then it says keep walking west until you can no longer see the evening star. Now that's a little bit subjective. You know, what does that really mean? Can I really not see the evening star? Maybe it's a pixel below. And then it says then head north again. After walking north for 3 nights, you should be able to see the oasis. But it doesn't explain how many nights we should have been walking north to begin with. It just says, you know, we should see the western, or, you know, the evening star and all these positions. It's so screwed up how convoluted. Actually, I want to get Nina out of my party. No, I just said no. It's just so messed up how ridiculous the directions that Horace gives us. And I should have said in the very beginning, the best way to even go about this, if you want to go a quick route to get out of the Desert of Death, right from the beginning, what you want to do is just from the North Star, if you're looking at the North Star, and I'll show you here, you want to head northeast. And I'll show you what I mean. That direction. Bam. You just keep walking this way the entire time, and you will get to the oasis. You do that for about 6 or 7 nights, you'll get there. And I wish the game, you know, the game's got to make it a little bit confusing and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll get to the story of my brother. So we were having a fight. It was like a week-long fight, man. Him and I were just going at it. He was upset that I probably ratted him out for sneaking out or something like that. And my brother's 6 years older than me. So what ended up happening is at the time I was stuck in the Desert of Death. Like I said, 9 years old kid, maybe 10 years old, and I just didn't know how to get out of the Desert of Death, man. It was too tough. Finally, one morning, I think it's like a Saturday morning, and this probably makes sense because I ratted him out for sneaking out, maybe. Saturday morning, I got out of the Desert of Death and into the oasis, and I was so hype and so excited that, I mean, I was just so excited, man. I didn't save or anything like that. My parents had called me up. My parents they just wanted to talk to me about Mark, my brother, and everything like that, and you know, see what was going on. And before I went upstairs to go talk to my mom and dad, my brother was just giving me the dirtiest look, man. He was just mugging at me, and you know, I was alright, man. Whatever, dude. Like, you know, you're the one that snuck out. I go upstairs, I tell mom and dad what happened or whatever, and they want to talk to me, and probably gave me a lecture about, you know, being a tattletale, which is whatever. Anyways, I come downstairs, right, and my bed is all messed up. Like, my Gundams at the time are all, like, torn apart. My brother, like, you know, basically my brother and I shared a room, and he just went crazy. He went crazy on my room, and the number one thing that I noticed first, god damn it, that was 4 times already. Well, that's what happens when you walk too long without taking water. Anyways, the first thing I noticed when I walk into the bedroom is my PlayStation is shut off. And I was so upset because you gotta realize when you're doing the Desert of Death, you really have to commit, like, at the very least, an hour to get out of the Desert of Death, especially following those shitty directions. And you know, it's no reason why. I mean, of course I didn't save. You know, it was just so completely screwed up. You know, even if I had saved, that's what I remember. Even if I had saved, I don't know where the hell in the directions I'm at to begin with. So that's why when you do the Desert of Death, you have to do it all in one go, baby. There's no, oh, I think I'm just going to walk halfway through the Desert of Death. We didn't know the trick that you just walk, like, right over here. We didn't know that trick. There was nothing like that. So ridiculous, man. He turned off my game, and I believe that my reaction was, I don't even think I was mad. I just started crying. I was just so upset. I just started crying, and yeah, that was pretty much it, man. That was basically every time I come to the Desert of Death, I always think of that. And I'm sure if I told him this story, he wouldn't understand. He didn't play this game, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know the tragedy of the Desert of Death. He doesn't know how hard this place is. Man, ridiculous. Anyways, traveled a couple of nights north here. Finally hit daybreak, and now the next direction that I wanna go is west. And from my directions that David wrote here, David 5K, or is it David? Yeah, David 5K. Great player. Breath of Fire 3 guy. He says head west until you find the armor. So what I'm gonna do is head west 4 directions left of the North Star, and I'm supposed to head this way for 2.5 nights, and I should just run into the armor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna off-screen this, and hopefully I'll see you guys with some new armor. Alright, I've been walking here for nearly 2.5 days. I would say 2.25 nights, or not days, nights is what I should say. And hoping to get me some armor. So let's see here. We'll get the armor in the battlefield here. And in my experience, the armor is normally like the armor spawns right next to you when you're in the battlefield. So as you can see, there's nothing here. So I don't think it's here. So I'm just gonna leave this one. Probably gonna give it to me on the second night of walking. So just walk a little bit more here. I don't know, I'm sure you guys have some stories about the Desert of Death, man. It's so difficult to get through. And they had something like they had something a lot like this in Breath of Fire 4 also, where you had to walk in pretty much the same exact concept. You had to walk to find a big stone, and from the big stone, I don't know if that was 3 or 4. I'm just gonna take a water for anyways. You had to find a big stone, and you gotta walk east for, 50 paces, then you gotta walk northwest, and just so ridiculous to go, advance through the storyline, and it's difficult. I honestly just hate, things like this. Yes! Yes! I did it correctly! I'm so excited! Yes! Awesome, man. You guys saw it. I'm so excited. I'm gonna kill these cactuses. I'm so excited. We got the armor, man. And I believe it's like the best armor in the game. Yeah, everyone's blinded. It's gonna take forever to kill, of course. Lag. Alright. I don't care. And for that, I get the... Look at life armor, man. Look how cool that sprite looks. It's so awesome. You get the life armor, which is awesome. Why do I have light clothing on? Oh, I must have not changed my equips from leveling up. Alright. Life armor. Look at how much defense well, that's also because of the fact that I have light clothing on rather than like the blizzard mail. But, okay. So it gives, you know, a substantial amount of HP more. But it regenerates HP also. So it's kind of like Pico when he, you know, he regenerates in battle. And it also regenerates every step, too. Much like the, what do you call it? The Cupid's Lyre. And now, okay, so now that I've got the armor, what I want to do is I want to walk east-northeast, which is 3 turns from the right star, or from the North Star. So that's the North Star. That's the fake North Star. So there's 1, 2, 3. So 3 turns from the north, and I want to walk this distance for about 2 nights. I believe this is right. So if it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. I suppose I can just get the items and go to the Oasis in my own way. But yeah, hopefully I'll just walk this way for a good couple of nights, and hopefully I'll end up with my sword that I'm looking for. Anyways, I guess I'll see you guys till then. Oh shit, then I figured out that I'm walking the wrong way. And I figured out, after I read the directions, that I was supposed to finish the night off walking north, right after getting the life armor. So, I really hope that doesn't screw things up. And then I'm supposed to, after finishing the night off, now I'm supposed to walk east-northeast. I really hope that doesn't screw it up, but, anyways, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna call this an episode for now, because I picked up the life armor at the very least, and, you know, hopefully I can get the sword. I'm gonna experiment. Hopefully I can get it, but, anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.